איתכם על הפרק
ניצן גולדנברג
ונתנאל הרוש, ואתם מאזינים לעוד פרק בפודקאסט של טסטייל מבית ITCB, העמותה לקידום מקצוע הבדיקות בישראל. הפעם הפרק יהיה מעט שונה, וגם בשפה אחרת. אנחנו הולכים לארח את המנכ"לים והבעלים של אחד הכלים שחדרו לשוק בשנתיים האחרונות ועשו מהפכה, Jam.Dev.
Hello, so we are here with Danny and העתיד. How are you?
שלום, מה זה מיוחד להיות בפודקאסט ישראלי, הורים שלי מישראל, אפשר לשמוע אני חושבת במבטא שלי שאני לא. רציתי להגיד לפני שאנחנו מתחילים ששתינו, העתיד ואני, עוקבים אחרי המצב בישראל, מאוד מודאגים, I hope שהחטופים יחזרו בשלום ומהר.
הלוואי, אמן.
Shalom. My Hebrew stops there, unfortunately. My name is Irtfa, and thank you so much for having us over, Nitzan and Netanel. Really excited to chat with you all today.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's cut to the business. Tell us about your journey until today. What leads you to this position in this company?
So probably if you've ever reported a bug to engineers, you've had this happen to you. You report a bug, you upload a bunch of screenshots to the Jira ticket, you write a bunch of information, and then maybe a week later, an engineer opens the ticket, they sign themselves to it, and then a little while later, they just close the ticket and they write, works fine on my end. So Irtfa and I used to be product managers together at a company called Cloudflare, and there we got to work on just amazing products that are now used by a really significant percentage of the whole internet. We got to launch a compute platform called Cloudflare Workers. We got to launch a faster, safer way to access the internet called 1.1.1.1, which now answers 1 trillion queries a day. And it was there trying to move fast and try to ship things that would just work great out of the gate that we experienced this pain firsthand. And when you're inside a company and you kind of have to crawl through glass to get stuff out the door, you don't really get to stop and think how can we improve our communication cycles between product and engineering? How can we improve our testing process? It really takes a separate company to do that. And so that is Jam. Our hope is to make it a lot faster for teams to come together, to ship software, to fix issues, because time that you're not spending on fixes and back and forths is time you get to build the next thing and the next thing. And that's how the world improves sooner.
Yeah, so you both, the initial thought of the tool, okay, was while you worked at Cloudflare, right?
Yeah, let me take a step back a little bit. Today, close to 100,000 people are using Jam, which is incredible to see. But it didn't start like that. Like Danny mentioned, we're both product managers in the same team. But before that, I was an engineer. And man, I hated when PMs would create tickets with just a single line, this is broken. Or people would say, hey, blank is not working. And these Jira tickets didn't have anything to go and fix on. So what I had to do, like me, a lot of engineers had to do, spend hours just trying to figure out what exactly happened. What are the steps to reproduce? Why do we even have this problem? Is it even worth solving? All of those things took hours of our time. And then of course, eventually we would want to do the fix. But before that, we were spending so much time doing that. What's funny is after I switched to product, I was the person who was creating those horrible tickets. Something about, the day-to-day grind and the job, you're so busy, you just don't have the time or the attention to detail in those situations to create those perfect tickets. Now, QA, of course, are extremely good at creating those detailed tickets like you, Nitzan. But what we wanted to do was allow two things, enable everyone who's creating tickets or reporting problems, give them the power that QA people already have, which is creating these meticulously created tickets, but also help all the QA folks who are creating tickets to automatically report these bugs with all of the detailed informations like network logs and console logs, with screen recording and pictures, and make them a lot faster while doing that. And that's how we came to Jam, and we wanted to basically allow everyone to create these amazing bug reports, and as a consequence, help people move really, really fast, ship products, and make their customers happy.
So I have a question. Where did the name Jam came from?
That's all Eirtapa. Eirtapa is so good at naming. So, you know, we're product managers. So we did the company thing the product manager way, which is the first thing we did was we lined up a bunch of user interviews. We did 45 user interviews right out of the gate because we actually didn't know for sure if this was just a problem that we experienced or if this was industry-wide. And before we start a company, we really needed to find out. And in those 45 user interviews, the word we kept hearing over and over again was people would talk about doing a bug jam or doing a design jam. And Eirtapa pointed out to me, hey, it seems like the thing that we'd be helping people with is to jam better. Should we call it Jam? And the rest is history.
Believable.
Danny's giving me way too much credit there. I don't remember exactly doing that. That part is completely blurred in my brain. But sure, I'll take that credit, Danny.
One really cool piece of Jam history is maybe the second or third person someone we talked to sort of early on in these user interviews was a friend of ours who was leading design at the time at a company called Scale AI. His name is Jeff Anders. He's an incredible, very talented designer. And after interviewing him and talking to him about back and forth with engineers, he was so passionate about the problem and so excited for it to be solved that he said, hey, can I help you in some way? Do you need a logo and a brand? And he made the Jam logo and he gave us the brand, all the Jam colors and the fonts and the icons that we use. And we use them to this day. It was like the most amazing gift we could get as a day zero startup.
I told you the free stuff worth a lot.
The hack.
So me and Nitzan using this tool daily. To tell you the truth, I don't know what to do without it nowadays.
Me neither. I dream about Jam.
Yeah, but it's so much cost time saving.
It's a time saving for the QAs and for the developers as well.
Yeah.
So I can tell you for sure I introduced Jam to the entire company that I work. Danny knows about it. We're in the same Slack as well. And they saw Jam for the first time and they were amazed. It's a time saver. It gives them everything they need. As Eirtapa said, as a product manager, the only thing they do when they create an issue is just to put the title. The same are the developers, by the way. The same are the developers. They don't have much time. All they do is creating the Jira ticket, adding some title and the log file. That's it. Without any steps, without any
Even
environment,
video screenshot.
Nothing. So when I introduced them the tool, they started to use it and they said, listen, we don't need to do anything, only to add the title, that something we already done.
Yeah, it's even having integration to the Jira.
Yeah.
I'm using it daily, actually. I stopped
Jira.
open bugs from Jira natively. I just open from the Jam.
And we are using it with Slack as well.
Yeah, it's amazing. So, to my question. We are the users. Okay, me and Nitzan, as you can tell, we are the users. We're using it daily. But we want to know what is the experience in building it, how the product shifted in the last year.
First, you've just made our days. I feel speechless. Thank you so much. It's just so amazing.
The podcast. Bye.
Yeah. Nice to meet you guys. No, by the way.
One of the things that really matters to us inside the company is no matter what building a startup is really hard. You spend a lot of time. It's a lot of hard work. And so we may as well make sure that the effort is impactful to the people who are using the product. And so we spend a lot of time meeting the people who use Jam and talking to them and learning more about how they work and then using that as feedback to build Jam. So here's what that looks like in practice. So every new user that signs up to Jam gets an email from Eartha saying hey, I'm one of the co-founders. Let me know if you need any help getting started. And Eartha gets so much insight and feedback from those conversations from new users. Then when a user has used the product for a while, every single week, I reach out to the top 100 users from the week before and ask for product feedback. And so we get a ton of insights and great feedback there. When Eartha and I get insightful statements from users, any really important feedback, feature requests, ideas, we take that from the email and we put it into an internal team Slack channel called Users Say the Darndest Things. And then the whole team discusses in that thread how we can improve the product for that user. And that's where the user feedback becomes actionable, things we want to change in the product. The other thing that will happen is in those back and forths over email, we'll often hop into a call with a user to get more information, to hear more. And we'll record those calls and we'll clip the most important moments. And then every day when the team meets for team stand-up, we'll play the most recent user clips, and then we'll discuss it as a group. And that way we're making sure we're always hearing from the point of view of the user where we need to improve, what we can help them with more. It's so, so, so important.
Yeah, you're really trying to be in the field. It's like you are connecting your team to actually what the users do with the product.
How do
Daily.
Yeah.
Daily, basically. So they are not
makes sense.
disconnected from the users.
It's why would you build something users don't want? If you can
Exactly.
try.
The customer is always right.
Because most of the time.
Most of the time.
Okay, so
I'm not sure.
let's talk about AI. It's the hottest thing in the market. We all talk about it and try to catch up with it every single day. How can your tool help to reproduce bugs we catch with the tool? And tell us about the instant replay feature.
Yes. We built an AI debugging assistant in the product and saw firsthand just how different it is to build a product that is powered by AI. First of all, usually when you see a bug and when you're QAing, you can record a video and repro the bug and show steps to reproduce the issue. But AI does something different every single time. And so if you're trying to give feedback to an engineer, we need to improve this prompt, then you need to capture what the AI just did in the past. And so we have a feature called instant replay, where in one click, you can capture what just happened, the last 30 seconds of the screen, played back like a video, plus a ton of metadata of the session, all the steps the user took up until that moment, and even custom metadata like user ID or the prompt version. And so something we're really excited about is we're seeing a lot of AI startups signing up for Jam and using instant replay, because how else are you going to capture an AI bug?
Yeah, when the outcome is you can't expect the outcome. The expected result is always changing. I think for the most of the time, this feature will help to so much QAs and developers and save a lot of time, because when you are using an AI like a chatbot or something, you really don't know how it will interact with the user. And to me, I don't use it with an AI, I use it regularly, but when I don't know how to reproduce my steps, just in general, not in AI specific, I just click on the instant replay, and that's it.
What are you building with AI? How has it been?
No, we are not building with an AI. We had a few tries in my company, but I use instant reply when I don't know how to reproduce the steps in general.
Awesome.
Let's talk about tool integration. I love the Jira integration. As I told you before, I don't open bugs from the Jira interface anymore. What basically your next step with another tool integrations, and how can QA teams work with it together?
Yeah, it's funny, like before we had Jira integration, we built a linear integration. And today it's not just Jira. So there's Jira, Linear, Asana, we send it to Slack, and in the next few months, we're going to have more and more integrations. But the reason for saying that, hey, we built the first linear integration, it's because we wanted to solve our own problem first. Like see, like, hey, like how can we do bug reporting? How are we going to make our own team faster? And it seemed like, other people wanted this too. And expanded to Jira. And today, I believe that's our most used integration. There are no surprises there. So today, when you are using the Jira integration, you can easily create bugs, assign it different like epics, and add, of course, all of the metadata, video, screen recording along with the ticket. So today, like you were saying earlier, Nathaniel, you don't necessarily have to open Jira to basically create tickets. And you can view the existing tickets that are linked to each Jam from the Jam dashboard. We want to be everywhere and anywhere. So over time, we'll support like more and more integrations. And we also want to make sure that we continue adding more firepower to the existing integrations. So I think some of the things that we're really excited about is being able to edit an existing like Jira issue directly from Jam. I think that will be really, really powerful going forward. Anything else you want to add, Danny?
It's one thing that we hear often from users that we're really excited about is in the old world, when you want to report a bug and then you have to open up Jira or whatever issue tracker you're using in a new tab, oftentimes you get distracted with the notifications in Jira or in whatever your issue tracker is. Like there's a whole inbox there waiting for you to action. And so reporting one bug ends up being like, an hour down a rabbit hole. And so one of the cool things of keeping you on that page with a browser extension where you can just like send stuff to Jira is actually you're a lot more productive and have to do a lot fewer context switches. And so that's one thing we're really, really excited about with the integrations.
I can say from the Jira integration, one of the things that I love with this integration is in my company, we work with a lot of projects inside Jira. And the integration gives you the opportunity
to select
the specific project,
Yeah.
and it brings the entire issue types that you have in that specific
the teams that
project.
related to the project.
Exactly, and the
the ethics,
entire
yeah.
fields. If it's custom fields or internal fields in Jira, it gives you the specific field that you have, that you own in your specific project.
Yeah, in addition, in the Jam extension, you basically can manually choose which fields you want to work with.
Yeah.
Even if the Jira have like 10 fields, but if you don't use all of them, you can select like 5 to 7 fields that you want to work with, and it will be like the default.
Yeah.
It's very
Y'all
nice.
are making our day.
One more integration that I love and Danny knows is the new Sentry integration. You want to talk about it, perhaps? You want to share?
Oftentimes, I'm so excited about this. It's a new product line for us where we want to help engineers trace a bug, not just what happened in the front end, but all the way through their infrastructure. And so we added an integration with Sentry, where right in the Jam, you can see all the backend errors across all your different services and across your infrastructure using Sentry for now, but we'll be adding more of these backend logging integrations.
Which integrations?
I know
Maybe
you're
you can
asking
share
about
with us
Datadog. Yes, it's
something.
coming soon.
Yeah.
When I joined
Just give
when I
him the
joined the
feature and done with it.
when I joined the call before we started recording, that was the first question Nitzan asked me, like, "Hey, when are we gonna have the Datadog integration?"
Oh, that's awesome.
My team are waiting for the Datadog. Every week they ask me, when will we have the Datadog? When will we have the Datadog integration?
That is so awesome.
We
You'll
want
be
to be
the
the
first to
first.
know.
We want to be the first to use it.
We'll launch it on this podcast.
I want to ask another thing.
Yeah,
Just
go
came in
ahead.
my mind. Actually, the way back to home from work, I saw a post in LinkedIn about test automation. They want to say something about it?
So actually, yeah, totally. One conversation with you that I remember is when I was in Israel last year for the test-style competition, you were
Talk
showing
about
me
it in a couple of minutes, don't worry.
amazing. You were showing me how you write automated tests, and it was super cool to see. And it was a conversation that we were having seemingly over and over and over again with the people who use Jam, which makes sense. And we wanted to make it just like, could we make it a little bit easier to write automated tests using Jam? And so one of the features of Jam is an automatic steps to reproduce the issue, where we just log what were like the most recent things that happened with like the user's actions before the bug occurred. And we added to that, if you have in the HTML attributes, like a data test ID on each HTML element, we added it in the steps to reproduce. And that way, when you write your automated tests, you don't have to go and look for those. They're right there in the steps to reproduce. You can just copy and paste them. And hopefully that makes it just a little bit faster to automate your tests.
And this feature works in this version of Jam, right?
Yeah, you should go use it today.
I didn't know that.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's not fair.
So the next step is to do a screen recording and implement it to code, right?
So actually, yes.
I'm just kidding, but
But I'm not.
Stop asking for new features.
So building Jam in 2024 is very interesting and exciting. It's different than building Jam 5 years ago, if that's what we were doing. And the reason for that is AI. AI is going to change a lot of things in the development lifecycle. And testing and debugging is clearly a place where it's going to be very AI powered. Writing automated tests takes a lot of time. And actually QA needs time back to work with the product versus being in automated testing, right? And engineers, debugging takes a lot of time. AI can help with probably 80-90% of that in the future, and that gives engineers back time to build. So really, really important. We've been sort of watching as AI develops and trying to see when things go from like a good demo to actually production ready. And so I don't think we're there today now in February 2024, but that could totally change 6 months from now, a year from now. And we're really excited to be doing more things to use AI to help you write automated tests, use AI to get to a pull request that almost fixes the issue or hopefully like gets you like 90% of the way there, stuff like that.
I just want to tell everyone that hear us, it's a home extension. All the capabilities and the features you hear, it's from a home extension.
By the way, not just Chrome. You can use it in more browsers, by the way, not just
Yeah,
Chrome.
it's more than Chrome.
Arc, Edge, Brave, all the Chromium
All the
ones.
Chromium based, right?
Yep, and Firefox and Safari are coming soon.
Awesome.
I'm so sorry.
Nitzan, do you use Safari?
I'm using Safari as well, yeah.
My main browser for my private use is Safari, yeah, because I have a Mac, but for work we use Chrome basically.
We use Chrome as
It's
well,
still the gold standard.
but we have to use Safari as well to test our products.
Just use
Makes
Playwright.
sense.
Playwright test Chrome, Firefox, and Safari.
Yeah.
Parallel.
So at this moment, Jam works on a desktop platform, right? You know what I'm talking about now.
I have a hunch what you're about to ask.
Where I'm getting ahead. How about mobile world?
Ertifa, do you want to?
Yeah.
When is the launch day?
It's quite painful, like when you're on desktop, right? When you're testing things and then you have to like open a new tab, like do the screen recording and like paste all the recordings, copy paste stuff and like create a ticket. It is extra painful when you're on the go on your phone. And this happened to me so many times where at Cloudflare, we didn't really have QA people, so PMs were doing all the QA. And I would hop on an Uber and then I'm testing our mobile app and something happens and it's a bug. And what I would had to do in that case was do a screenshot and wait for it until I got home. When I got home, I pulled out my laptop, I airdrop the screenshot, and whatever I remembered from my Uber ride, I will then put it in a Jira ticket. So it's not super surprising that more than a quarter of our customers ask for a mobile app, and we're really excited to share that it's coming very soon, where from our mobile app, you'll be able to record your screen or take screenshots and create Jira tickets from your phone. You don't have to wait to open up your laptop when you go home.
So you will be able to create a Jira from the mobile?
Yeah.
I'm speechless. I knew about the mobile work, but I didn't thought having the opportunity to create Jira ticket directly from the mobile.
Don't
After
use
this,
mobile.
I'm
Don't
gonna,
use
I'm gonna
mobile.
share with you. I'm gonna share with you
You know,
like what we
you're
have
gonna
so
share
far.
with us, but with the entire people that hear us, right?
Okay, we'll send you something shareable, and I cannot wait for you to see it. It's so slick. It's so quick to create a ticket.
Just one question about it. Do it will work with native apps?
So
Like
it works with anything on your phone because it's the fastest way to screenshot, screen record, and send to a ticket. And so it doesn't matter if you're testing mobile web or mobile app, it works across the board.
But how you capture it? Because you are in the native apps, you need to have a special share icon to actually to press the Jam extension or something it will be, I think. Because when you are on the browser, just have a share icon and you press on the Jam, and probably it will do what it will do and open the new ticket with all the logs and etc. But on the native app, so how you do it?
So imagine you're using a native app, you get like an error, you're like, okay, gotta report this. So you take a screenshot, and in the iOS or dialog, you'll see like, we're doing iOS first. You'll see
Sorry,
share this.
Android. Sorry, Google.
And then when you choose where to share it to, like the same way that you can like share it to WhatsApp, you can share to Jam. And then that takes you through the rest of the steps. And quickly it will pull up like, where do you want to send this? Do you want to copy link? Do you want to send it to Slack? Do you want to send it to Jira? You fill out all the fields. It remembers the fields from last time to make it easy. And you're done.
That's it.
My heart rate just went.
Be around for the next few months to
Yeah.
figure it out.
So before we continue, let's hear something from our sponsors. האם אתם עובדים בסביבת אג'ייל? אם כן, זה הזמן לעשות את בחינת ההסמכה של ICTQB באג'ייל. כנסו עוד היום לאתר של ITCB בכתובת www.itcb.org.il וירשמו כבר היום לבחינת ההסמכה. So, ISTC, Danny. First time I asked you to become one of the sponsors to the Israeli competition was last year. How was it for you?
Freaking awesome. What a special thing to be a part of. So it's oftentimes in a company, if the QA team, if the testing team is doing an amazing job, they empower the engineering and product team to go faster, deliver more. And oftentimes they don't get the recognition they deserve in their role for that, because at its best, it's like an invisible force helping the whole team move faster. And so to get to support, and also it was really cool to get to be there in person and to be one of the judges, to get to be at an event that is all about celebrating people who are really the thought partners to product and engineering, who are the voice of the user, who make sure that when customers get software, that it just rocks and is frictionless and is not frustrating. It was super awesome. I'm so excited to be there again this year.
Yeah, we're waiting for you. We can hardly wait.
Let's sum up the podcast.
Yalla.
Yalla. Do you have one or two pieces of advice from both of you you would like to give to the testers or the test managers who are listening to us right now? any advice about a product. It can be about how to build a software as a service in a company. It can be about anything.
Ertifa, do you have?
Yeah, I'm gonna go on a different angle here. Of course, use Jam, so I'm not gonna say that as a specific advice.
That's
But
the one advice.
a lot of the listeners are trying to get into the QA field. They're in some sort of educational institution going through this dream of being a QA engineer. I can share a little bit about, from my experience working with amazing QA engineers, what really makes them great. I think the number one thing that makes them great is that they're never afraid to point out issues when something goes bad. Like I remember, this is a long time ago, when I was working at this company called Retail Me Not. I was a mobile engineer, and we had like crazy deadlines to hit. And I used to work with this amazing QA engineer. His name was Yavor, and Yavor, if you're listening to this, shout out. I still talk about you. We used to be in crazy deadlines because of holiday season, and it meant that, hey, like every single ticket that's not being done and it's like going back to the QA cycle and I have to like rework it, meant like adding more things to our list. And naturally, we felt very emotional about it. We're getting angry, like, hey, come on, like this doesn't need to be fixed anymore. Like we can move forward. But he was so meticulous and detail oriented, and he just would not let those features pass because he was always thinking about from the perspective of the customer and the user. It's like, no. It's not gonna be, it's gonna be an 80% experience, not gonna be 100% experience. And he was really making sure, even if we were getting mad at him, like he was basically looking out for the user. And I think people who are listening, always remember, like your work really, really matters because you are an integral part to making sure the product delivers an amazing experience to users. So never be afraid to tell the engineers to go fix this thing before it goes out.
Sometimes when we are working on any product, I don't know about other QAs, but most of the QAs trying to reach for a great user experience when the rest of the team let it sleep a little bit.
Yeah.
Because of deadlines, as you said, because they don't like the feature or there is a lot of bugs, they just want to deliver fast. But user experience, for the most of the part, it's the heart of every product, I think. If you don't have a great user experience, the user just don't use the product.
They install it, use it one time, and forget about it.
Yeah.
Completely agree. I also think one of the things that is underappreciated is oftentimes the engineers and PMs and designers who are looking at the product every single day or whatever new feature they're building, they've seen it too much. And oftentimes when QA starts to test, it's the first time someone's looking with fresh eyes. And that outside perspective is so important. And so to what Ertifa said, it's just so important to just be the voice of the user, to say, hey, I got confused, or this frustrated me a little bit, and to give feedback holistically on the product as someone who's looking at it with fresh eyes. It's so appreciated on the product and engineering side, I can tell you.
Before we close, a bit off topic, is there something you'd like to share to convey to our listeners, perhaps?
Anything. It's not need to be related to the podcast. It's not to be related from what you are doing.
To testing as well?
Yeah. In general, in life.
I will say this, it's when you start a company, you choose your tribe, you choose who you're going to spend all your time with. And we got so lucky that everyone we get to meet through Jam is a builder and they're trying to improve some corner of the world through software. That is really, really special. And we love getting to meet the community of builders around the company. And so if anyone listening is using the product, has thoughts, feedback, advice, just wants to chat about building software, please reach out. The email address hello@jam.dev is just an alias for Ertifa and me. And we would love to hear your thoughts, feedback, suggestions, all of the above.
And where they can find Jam.Dev, by the way.
Oh, Jam.Dev.
right on the spot. Let's close.
Let's do the closing.
Let's do the closing. ואירטפה, thank you for being our guest. It really was an honor and a pleasure. It's not something we do daily on the podcast, and I think went well.
It went unbelievable. I enjoyed every single minute talking to you guys. And of course,
Half of the podcast was feature demands. Stop that.
I think that's the first time me and Netanel are doing a shared podcast.
Yeah,
The first one was when I interviewed him,
the pilot. Yeah,
pilot.
The pilot episode.
and now we did it again.
High five.
So
Thank you
guys,
so much for having us. Was mamash achla.
thank you, guys. Thank you, Danny. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to another episode of TestIL podcast from ITCB. תודה שהאזנתם לעוד פרק בפודקאסט של TestIL מבית ITCB. Have a great day.
שיהיה לנו שבוע טוב.
שיהיה שבוע מקסים.